everyone, good afternoon. Again, an English episode. Here, I'm already messing up the words because I have an international guest today from the UK, Ben Howard. Hello, Ben.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How about
Good.
yourself?
Yeah, fine, fine,
Yeah,
fine. Politics plays large in our lives again today, but that's
yeah,
purely an
yeah, yeah.
English
I just saw
perspective.
I saw just the announcement indeed. But we're not going to be distracted by that because we're going to talk about fun things. Like every week, we're talking about Power BI and related items. We're every week live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And if you like what we make, don't forget the thumbs up. Hè? Duimpje in Dutch. That's duimpje. Nice word, hè? And yeah, this
I
this
remember that.
week, Ben.
I'll be in
Oh dear, the connection is breaking
I'll
up a
be in
little
the
bit here at
Netherlands
my
soon,
end.
so I'll remember that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you can remember the
Okay.
word duimpje. Now, I hope the connection doesn't break too much. But we're going to be before we start, Ben, we're going to be talking about how you can use Planner in combination with Power BI and also Power Automate mostly, to get the data out of Planner.
Yep.
But before we deep dive into that, can you share a little bit what you do in on an average day?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there is no average day, of course.
Mm,
So
that's
I've
true.
worked for myself for the last 15, 16 years as a IT, effectively an IT consultant. So I used to do a lot of work with Microsoft Project, and I've been a project MVP, I think, for 13 years. And then about 5 years ago, I started transitioning uh, towards let's just call it the data platform. And in those days, of course, Power Pivot, and then very quickly Power BI. And I did that because that's how we used to report on all of the project online data. That is,
Mm-hmm.
again, another Microsoft tool. And to cut a long story short, I found that working with data was much more interesting than working with projects. And so I flipped my world away from Microsoft Project to Power BI. And that's
Yeah.
literally all I do now. Still do a little bit of project work, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice, nice. And now, yeah, in this session, you will combine both worlds, because we're gonna
Yeah.
be talking about, like I said, how do you get Planner? And you prepared some slides. So we just go to your slides, please, and can you tell us a little bit more what maybe Planner is? Because I think a lot
Yeah.
of people maybe don't even know what it is,
Yeah.
including myself, to be honest.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm gonna
So
add your screen,
yeah.
if you are fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can
Great.
move away the other
Move
screen. Yeah,
that over
excellent.
to there.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I've got some slides. So let's just run through these. And then anytime you want to just say, "Hey Ben, I didn't get that," or we've got a question here, just
exactly.
butt in, and then I'll do my best to answer that. Okay, so Microsoft Planner and Flow. This is a little bit about me. This is actually, there's only one interesting thing. No, there's nothing interesting on here, but except to show how somebody ages. So this is me 14 years ago when I became an MVP, and this is me now. Okay, so maybe that's what being an MVP does for you. You lose more of your hair and you get a bit grayer and a few more wrinkles. But that's and you get a nicer shirt, right? So what are we going to do, and what's the problem statement that we're solving here? This whole session is about taking tasks out of Microsoft Planner. And you said, what is Planner? Let's just briefly go
Yeah.
and have a look at Planner very quickly. Okay, this is Planner, or this is the front end of Planner. It's a Microsoft Office tool that's free of charge. Basically, if you get an E3 or an E5 license, you've got access to use Planner for free. It's developed by the same team in Microsoft that develop Microsoft Project. Okay, but the two things are separate applications.
Hmm.
Planner is what I'm going to call a task management tool, whereas project is a task scheduling tool. So project does the Gantt chart and the dependencies and things like that. Planner just has a Kanban board. Let me give you a quick example. This is a planner that I've got, called P4W Fundamentals course, because I'm actually creating this course at the moment for somebody. So what I have is a bunch of tasks in effectively a board. And that board, you can think of that as a Kanban board. So I've got tasks that haven't been started. We could call this a backlog. I've got videos that are in production, stuff that I'm producing now, videos that have been produced, so stuff that's finished. Those videos then get uploaded. I then get some feedback, and then so I get the feedback and I'll make some edits to that, and then I'll finally submit the video. Each of these tasks is something that I need to achieve, so I can go and quickly create a task, give it a name, I don't know, decide on color scheme.
Yeah. And you can assign it to people, I assume, and you
And
can
I
then
can
work
assign it to
together, right?
people, yeah. So we'll
Yeah,
open that
yeah,
up.
yeah.
We now get this nice big
Oh,
card.
yeah.
I could
Yep,
assign it
exactly.
to, my friend Andre. Okay, make him a member of the team. Give it a label. So we've got lots of labels. We can put it in
Yep.
different buckets, all of that little lot, put notes on there, checklist items, add attachments. It's a real collaboration thing. But it's about task management, not project management. Okay. Or not schedule management, because there's no Gantt chart in here. Okay.
Yeah.
And whilst we look at this, there's no reporting either. Okay. So what I can't do is, you can see that I've got lots of individual plans in here, but there's no enterprise reporting. All I can literally do is export the plan to Excel, which as soon as you've got more than 5 plans is just a nightmare. And for an enterprise, that doesn't work. So that's kind of a brief issue, or a brief overview of what Planner is, and kind of a problem statement. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. And so you were thinking when you saw this export to Excel, okay, that there must
Yeah.
be a smarter way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd already created a Power BI template that exports that took Excel files out of a. So if you went through all of my, I don't know, 20 or 30 planner plans and did an export into Excel, or export to Excel, and put those in a folder, I'd already created a Power BI template file that took all of that data out of that folder and created, some charts. So these are the charts that are available for you in Planner. So I created charts which mimic this in Power BI, but I'd then put some filters across the top, slicers, of course, we call them, don't we? Slicers across the top, so you can say, hey, I'd like to have a look at the PW Project for the Web Fundamentals course, or I'd like to have a look at Enrich Reports Update, or Utah Development, or any of those things. So we can then filter. Of course, that's what Power BI allows us to do, is aggregate data and filter. And that was ultimately what I wanted to do, was replicate this charting information you can see here, but have that available across all of the plans in an enterprise and have that automatically updated. So that's why I ended up playing with Power Automate to do that. Okay, so this is kind of a solution that I ended up building. We take data out of Planner, run Microsoft Flow or Power Automate, right? I'm just going to use Flow because it's less syllables than Power Automate. Okay, so Microsoft
You
Flow.
don't like the new name, right?
I don't know anybody who really does.
Yeah.
It's just, I get it, right? But it's easier
Got
to
the word
say
power flow, maybe.
Yeah, we should just call it Power Flow.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, yeah. So take data out of Planner, via Microsoft Flow, and I have to store it somewhere. So I chose Excel stored in SharePoint because everybody uses that. But I could have chosen SharePoint lists. I could have chosen a SQL database, etc., etc. But remember,
Dataverse, maybe.
this is
Yeah.
kind of low code, no code solution.
Yeah.
So Excel works.
I like that about the Power Platform in general, because like you started saying, first I had the Excel files and I just loaded the folder into Power BI. That was
Yeah.
version 0.1. Now I'm adding Power Automate into Excel. Now maybe the next version, hey, you can iteratively develop that. That's a nice thing about Power Platform, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes it,
Yeah.
it is, and it makes it, you know, easy to, or easy-ish. Nothing's ever easy, is it? The nice thing then is because it's in Excel online, I can go and query that with Power BI. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one flavor of it. As I said, you could store the data anywhere. So this second image just kind of shows you that you could store it in SharePoint lists, which would be, again, fine
Yep.
for whatever you want to do. Okay. So there's a couple of things that we have to make sure are happening, if you like. Power Automate doesn't really have a way of getting at plans, but what it can do is it can list all of the teams in an organization. So there isn't an action that says list all of the plans in an organization, but there is an action in Power Automate that says, hey, let's list all of the teams. And once we can list all of the teams, there's another action that says, hey, let's list all of the plans for a team. So one of the caveats of this solution is that each plan, each Microsoft Planner plan must be assigned to an Office team in Microsoft Teams. Okay, because that's how we get at the data. You'll see that later.
Yep.
And then what I've set up is for mine, and mine runs nightly, is the flow runs every night at 11 o'clock because normally I'm in bed by then. And what that flow does is it goes to the Excel file and it removes any existing data, which kind of seems extra work because, of course, what it's then going to do is it's going to import the data. So 90% of what I do is I just delete the same data and then I import it again. Why do we do that? Well, because there's nothing. I could in Planner go and delete a task, and if I didn't then make some action to delete it from Excel, I'd end up in my Power BI report with tasks saying this task is late, but actually it might not exist in Planner anymore. And so this is just a function of the lack of richness, if you like, in Flow. So what we do is we run this every night. It removes all of the existing data from the Excel tables. We'll have a look at the Excel file. And then for every plan, it then adds in all of the data. So if you've done nothing on a file, then ultimately this is a bit of a waste of CPU, but it's the only way we can do it. The Excel file then holds the data for every plan. And then I get Power BI. I just set up a scheduled refresh that, again, refreshes at, say, 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, just to give the flow time to run. Okay, so that's kind of what the flow is.
Yeah.
I'm going to demo it and create it.
Yeah.
But if you were using Flow in your organization, you said, hey, that looks pretty neat, then you can go and download it because it's all on GitHub. I have 2 versions of the flow. The first is because I didn't know much about Flow when I started this, and I didn't know much about GitHub in truth, and still don't because I'm not a developer, right? I'm a kind of low code business analyst, Power BI guy that gets stuff done. The first version of the flow uses a delete a row action to remove existing rows from the table. And feedback from people when I publish this on YouTube is that can be slow. So somebody else said, hey, Ben, why don't you use the new scripts action that are available in Excel Online and run some scripts to remove existing rows from the table. So I did that. And that runs much faster, but I'm not sure if people are able to take my flow solution, which has scripts in it, and import it into their flow environment. So that'd be interesting if anybody's tried that or can feedback to me whether that works. That would be useful to know.
Yep.
Okay. So, we've done the bit which says, so Ben, what is Planner? Because you asked me that first of all. So let's go and start with, let's go and start
your
with
script.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go and start with Excel and just have a look at that. Now, I've taken this as though somebody's gone to GitHub and kind of downloaded the files already. So you can download these files. This is everything that's there. So everything you need to know to get this working in one of its two flavors is there, including, if you have any issues, the flowmap.pdf. Okay. Because I thought, rather than documenting this by word, I'd document it visually. So I took screenshots of all of the flows, which when I'm doing demos is quite useful because I forget what I've done as well. Okay, so let's go and just have a look at Excel first of all. So,
by the way, if you're watching this, if you have any questions, just let us know. We're happy to. I not, because I don't know the answer, but Ben probably will answer your question.
I'll see if I find the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So here I am. I'm in Office, aren't I? And I've clicked on Excel, and ultimately you need to store that Excel file that you download from the GitHub there somewhere in a group. Okay, so mine's stored in a group or a location on SharePoint called APO Group Shared Documents. And this Excel file has some tables in it. Okay, so we have a plans table, so that stores the plans. Each plan can have some buckets. So that's the bucket name. So we have a plan ID, the bucket ID, and the bucket name. We have some tasks. Okay, so lots of tasks. Those are the things that you're seeing us doing. Each task can be assigned to a user or a team member, or more than one team member. So here we have a task ID and the user assignment ID. Somewhere along the line, we need these users. Okay, so that's what we get out of Teams as well. So we get a user ID and a name, and then a first name and a surname. And we also have some checklist items against each tasks as well. So we have effectively a tab for each of these areas, these six areas. And each tab, as you can see, has a table, and each table ultimately has a name. Okay, I'm not very... well, I'm pretty sensible with my name. So this is called the checklist table. We'll have the plan table and the task table, etc., etc. Yeah. So that's kind of what we start off with. So far, so good. Makes sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And is this then the export that you get from Planner when you press the button export to Excel? Or is this already something that the Power Automate created?
Yeah, this is what Power Automate creates.
All right.
So let's just go and have a look. Yeah, that's the result of Power Automate. Yeah. So let's go and have a look at what we would start to do to create that flow, or create a flow like that.
Yeah.
So I've just clicked on the create button, and we'll go for a scheduled cloud flow. Okay, and we'll just call this Get Responsive.
What's the difference, Ben, between a scheduled cloud flow and the default one, automated cloud flow then? What's
an automated one, as you see here, it's triggered by some sort of event. So there may be an email that arrives in an inbox, or you might add a row into Excel or something like that.
Oh yeah, this is something that's run at 11 o'clock at night.
But this is the one I'm going to run at 11 p.m. for example, and I'm going to repeat it every day. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go and create that. And then if you've not been into Flow before, have you done a lot with Flow, Joran, or not?
A little bit. Yeah, we did show it before, but not that much. So
Yeah.
show it a little bit,
Okay.
what the basic steps are, please. That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we've got something that happens at 11 o'clock every day. Okay, run every
Yeah.
day, edit at, if I look at the advanced options here, it says basically 10 o'clock, but that's UTC and we're in British summertime at the moment.
Is
So
it possible,
it's 11 o'clock
sorry to
British
interrupt
summertime.
you, Ben? Is it possible to
Do you want to make that
zoom
bigger?
in a little bit your browser? Yeah, with yeah, exactly with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that we
great.
can
Well, yeah.
really do it much
Yeah.
more. Yeah, that's better. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
That's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this occurs at 11 o'clock, as we know, and then I can choose an action. So what I want to do
Yeah.
first of all is go over to that Excel file and begin to delete some of these items. Okay. So we'll go back to that flow because that's what we do. We delete all of the items and then we go and add them back in. So I'm going to choose the actions from Excel Online. And here you can see that I can go and delete a row. Now, the problem I have at the moment is I don't know which rows I need to delete. And so first of all, I need to go and list the rows that I've got. So the first thing I do is I list the rows present in a table. This gives me this box here. And it says, okay, where's this Excel file stored? So I can drop down and choose this, and my Excel file is stored in APO group. Okay. But you can see, it just depends where you store it on your SharePoint site. Okay. My site's been used for lots of demos over the years.
Yeah.
And so it's got a lot of stuff in there. So we've chosen the site, then we choose the document library. I've only got one document library. It's called Documents. So that's fine. And then we choose the Excel file. I've got a few because I've done a few of these demos, but the one I'm looking at is plannertasks.xlsx. And then it says, hey, Ben, which table do you want to choose or list the rows present in? Let's just choose the assignments table. Okay. So that's what Power Automate's going to do. It's going to list those rows. And then I want a new step. And for each row, I'm going to go and delete it. Okay, so I'm going to delete a row. Okay, and it says where you're going to delete it from. So this is a bit of a, unfortunately, you have to do this and you have to duplicate it, but it's a one-off step.
Yep.
But setting up the whole thing, in reality, is going to take somebody a day to set it up and test it.
Yep.
So we're going to do this for the assignments table. We're going to look for a key column. We'll look for the probably I forget which one we use, probably the user assignment ID. No, I would say the task ID. And then in here, we need to match this up, and you can see we've got the task ID. Actually, I could have chosen any one of these. Now, because we're deleting a row and we've got lots of rows present in the table, then this flow has wrapped up my delete a row in a apply to each action, if you like, so or occurrence. So it's going to go through and delete every row.
Yeah.
So if we think about that, I need to do that for the assignments table, the team members table, the checklist table, the tasks, buckets, and plans. So I need effectively, I'm going to put us back on assignments here. I'm going to need effectively 6 of these. Okay, so we would add a parallel branch, but again, we're just building this up for now.
Yeah.
What I can do is I'd save this. I'm going to just check that this works, because this gives us, if we solve this, this gives us we're over, if you're climbing, I use climbing metaphors because I used to climb. We're over the crux of the problem here. We're over the crux of the crime. So that's ready to run. Now, I always find on Windows screens, it's quite useful to do this. I'm going to put that over there, and I'm going to put this one there, and we'll put plan files there. And I said it's assignments. test this flow here, if it works, then what it should do is we should see the tasks coming out of this assignments piece here. Okay, and it'll delete it from the bottom or delete it from the top, but we'll see it from the bottom here. Okay, so we just
So you
click
can right
done.
away
That
test
should
it out.
automatically.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it says the flow is running here, and on here you can see we've already lost a row. I think we're on 45. So in that table on the left hand side, we can see those rows being deleted. So look at that, yeah. And we can see the flow is running here.
Sorry.
Challenging internet, mine or yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at my end.
So we now know we can use flow to interact with an Excel workbook. Yeah. That's good. All right, let's maximize this. That's the crux of what we're trying to solve. So if I go and have a look at my other flow, the one which actually does everything, it's this one here. Let's just go and edit that. Remember we said we had 6 tables we have to interact with. Well, here are the 6 tables. So if I just scroll across here, I've got the first one removes existing rows, then we remove existing checklist rows.
And they're all running in the same time.
They all run in parallel in the same time.
Yeah, nice.
And once we've removed them, then we can go and list the teams, which is where we come in and we go and interact with teams. And from the teams list for every team, we can list the plans for that team. And then for each plan, we can list the tasks. And then for each task, we can add, instead of deleting, we can add the rows into the table. Yeah. And so you've just seen how I've deleted assignments, and this is really just the opposite. So we do that.
The nice thing of flow is that you can reuse elements from prior steps. So like you're doing here, I'm listing the teams, I'm listing the task within the team, and you can use that field then to populate the Excel. That's the nice thing about this solution. Cool.
So it's a nice thing about the whole Power platform. It's a low code. I've done no coding on this except for one little area. Okay, and I took that from Google, of course. Now remember, in our flow, our Get Responsive flow, the one that we've just created, I actually listed all the tasks in a table and then deleted all of the tasks, and I said that took a little bit longer. So in my updated flow, actually what I do is I run a script called remove tasks. Okay. And in this one, it'll be the script called remove checklists. Let's have a look at that, because this might be new to some users here.
Where do you define that script indeed? I wonder.
Let's have a look on this one. Let me just, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger as well, so that you can see the data. But in Excel Online, there's a button called Automate. And what Automate allows you to do is create some scripts. Think about VBA, but online, if you like, without potentially the security issues. Allows you to automate some scripts that, again, can interact with Excel. So let's go and have a look at the scripts.
So this is only in the online version, Ben?
Only in the online version,
All right.
Just in online. So if we have a look at the scripts here, you can see that I've got 6 scripts available to me in this Excel sheet. One of them is called remove tasks. So I'm going to look at that one because we're on the tasks table here. So if I just edit that, here's some code, and I apologize for this, right? But it's really easy. It says, it creates a variable called delete table which is equal to, and this is the only bit you need to ever change. In fact, you don't need to really change it. So I'm going to say, let the table that I want to delete is called the task table. So if I went into table design here, you'd see this table is called task table. And then we run some code which basically deletes all the rows from a task table. So if I just click run on here, you'll see that it says the script is running, and bang, all of the tasks are gone. So that's much quicker. And we can, we can test this easily by just putting some rubbish in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then clicking run again. I'm not sure if that's created it. Yeah, it has.
So it's not VBA, this language, is what you're saying, right? Or?
No, it's not. Well, it's not. Do you know, I'm not a developer. It doesn't look like VBA. But...
No, I don't know.
So that's
maybe someone knows what language this is.
That's what somebody knows. Yeah, that's what we do against the. If I look at the assignment or the remove plans script, for example, we just edit that, you'll see that that does exactly the same thing. The only thing that is different is that we look at the plan table. Yeah. So that's all good. So that's our flow, if you like. That's what it does. I'll just put this back to I'm just going to zoom it out so everybody can see all of the flow. I was having problems scrolling left and right.
So you can get this from your GitHub, so that already includes then the document, because you can't import a flow right into Power Automate, can you? You can say I'm going to export it, or can you?
Yeah, you can export it and you can import them as well. But again, this is where I've had not necessarily some issues, but different feedback. So the flows are exported as here's the original one, and here's the one which is being updated to use Office script to remove rows from tables. You can download those and you can go into your own flow. Let's just pick up this one. And then in flows, there's a button that says import. And you can import a package legacy, and it will say to you, what's the zip file that you want? Okay. And it can be one of those two. That could be your own, of course, that you've created, or it could be one that you've created from somewhere else. So it says, it's very difficult to see this because it's slightly in gray here. Yeah. But it says upload a zip package file. So that's the one that, that's the one that you will have downloaded from GitHub. So this is the original one. I know pretty much works for most people. I'm not sure about the scripts one, but if you want the scripts one, I've actually put the scripts here so you can go and get them anyway. So you don't need to do much coding at all.
Nice, this GitHub. Looks great. And can you maybe, as a final step, so this is running smoothly every night at 11 o'clock, and then you're gonna, you created already a Power BI dashboard. Can you show us a little bit of that also, please? Then we have
let's do that. So
let's.
I'm not sure if I've got the Power BI dashboard anywhere with me, so I'm just going to. Well, no,
take your time.
No, it's good. No, it's good because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like you would do it. If you wanted, here's the planner report with flow.pbit. Okay, so that's the Power BI template. Yeah. So let's just download that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
so we'll put also the links for the ones who are watching in the comments so that you can access the GitHub yourself.
Yeah.
So
that's going to download that and open it up automatically. Now we have to configure.
Does anyone? I do want to know it, because otherwise, So does someone know what language is the scripts in Exact-Align being written in? What language is that? There's a little price attached to it. No,
okay. All right.
All right. Oh yeah. So this is
what's
when
the
you
prize? I want to know what prize you're giving away.
Free training. Let's put
free training. Hey, that's good.
Free training.
So this is my Power BI template file, and ultimately, in order for it to work, we need to know where that Excel file is stored. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start the flow now because I've deleted most things out of my flow. So
Yeah.
let's just go back, and whilst we're doing this, I'm going to run this flow. Otherwise, we're not going to get too much. We're not going to get any good data into our file.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'll just run that in the background.
Yeah.
Because remember, we deleted everything out of assignments and tasks, didn't we? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So that's done. Excuse me. But where do I get, or the question is, where do I get that Excel path from? Okay, so here's the
Yeah. Because it's
Excel file.
online. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it's online, right? And we
Yeah.
need to get to it. So there's a little trick with that. We should see tasks coming in here quite soon. If I was to click on editing and open in the desktop app,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so this is going to open up Excel. Of course, it opens it up on my other screen, doesn't it? So just bear with me a moment whilst it
Oh,
downloads.
we got an answer on our price question.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the thing is, I need to double check it now because I don't know whether it's the right answer. But Mark thinks it's TypeScript, some kind of
TypeScript.
JavaScript. All right.
Okay.
Could be, Mark. If it's true, then I'll contact you for the training.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just bring this file up here. Okay, you can see we're putting new assignments as we speak. New assignments were coming in. But what I need, if you remember from Power BI,
Yeah.
is the path to this
Yeah.
Excel file, but excluding this thing %1, %web equals 1 at the end, which basically says open this up in a browser. We don't need that. So
Yeah.
back into Excel, which is here. If I click on the File tab and then the Info button, I've got a button there which says Copy Path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's the key to this. So I've just clicked on there. I don't need to do anything else. I can go back into Power BI and I can just paste that into my template. And remember, get rid of that question mark
Yeah.
web equals 1 at the end.
Yeah.
And then we can just click load. So what that's going to do is it takes my pre-configured queries. Notice we're looking at the bucket table, the plan table, the user table, and I'm just, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to sign in as a different account. I always get the browser to help me sign in. I wonder where that's popped up. Just on a different page here. That's signed in.
Yeah, this is very handy tip, eh? If you have files stored on your OneDrive, I think in general, right? Also, and you don't know what the path is, then you can use this this trick to get the right path indeed. Yeah,
Yeah. Info
because
copy
you don't
path.
want to link your
Absolutely.
Power BI to your local files, of course. You want to link it into an online
Yeah.
cloud version of that
Oh,
document so that it can be easily refreshed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's always in demos,
Well,
Ben.
and this is because at the
No worries.
moment it says task ID and task table contains blank values, which it does because
Oh,
our
it doesn't
flow's
like blank.
still running. Okay,
All
we've got a
right.
little
Yeah.
thing here, excess.
Normally it takes. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see if we've
Ah,
got one that's available to us anyway, and let's just see what comes back here. Okay, all right, that gives me something to work on. So let's go back into Power BI. We'll see if we can refresh this soon anyway. We should have a planner tasks from Flow. Okay, 15 days
maybe
ago.
an older one. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Doesn't
it'll
matter.
be an
Just
old
for
one. It will
get a
get us
sense
there.
of what you get, right?
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
fine.
so as usual, we open up another version of Power BI, right? This always winds
Why
me up.
is that?
I
Why
don't
is it
know.
not opening in the same
Mm,
Microsoft?
I absolutely agree.
Because I think it's even though I have 32 gigabytes of memory, it's killing the memory usage, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It's
Yeah, yeah,
frustrating, isn't it? We'll get out of
yeah.
there.
And it takes time. Yeah.
It
Nah,
does
yeah,
take time.
doesn't matter.
We all
We
learn to
we have to
speak
keep
with this
complaining, right?
time, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can relax a little bit. Get a
Okay.
sip of our
A cup of tea, yeah.
Yeah,
A cup of
exactly.
tea. Okay, so have you got the drum roll ready?
Almost there. Yeah.
We're almost there.
So this is
Okay.
talking with your Excel file, and I
Mhm.
like it, because like you said in the beginning, this will be across all the plans, because you have multiple
Yeah,
plan boards, of course, and this is doing it. Yeah.
just
eh,
gonna load this up. So I
You,
tried
you would,
to
you would, you would. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
tried to keep the look and feel as Microsoft had it, and then add in some additional value into here.
Yeah.
So there's what can we do? Well, simply we can go and say, hey, I only want to look at my, and I
Yeah.
probably don't have my, I don't have my project for the web one in here because that's a fairly new product. But if I wanted to go and have a look at, I don't know, management meeting, we could just select the management meeting plan, of course, and then we drill into that data around that plan, and we can see what buckets we've got, what titles, whether tasks are on track or behind or not started or
Yeah.
completed. And then, of course, we could choose and say, hey, I'm only interested in, well, I'm not interested in anything that's completed. So, of course, we
Yeah.
could deselect that. And so you have all of that great richness that Power BI gives you. We're not really aggregating numbers here as such as we do in a lot of financial reports, but we are just using this to look at, different plans and potentially, a couple of separate plans if we wanted to. So that's
Yeah.
ultimately that's the output that we get. There's one main screen here, and then I added in another screen for checklist items, which we did, or I did later on as well. So you can see the number of
Nice.
completed or remaining checklist items per
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
So quite
Yeah.
useful.
That's right. Yeah. And like you said, there is some basic reporting per plan in Planner,
Yeah,
but this is going across all the plans and allows you to filter easily through it. So yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
so
And
did
of
you
course,
already send this to Microsoft back and said, hey, this should be a standard feature in Planner? I used your
no,
tools to create it.
no, I haven't.
No,
Um,
not yet.
I,
Okay.
I did have a discussion with Microsoft once when they brought out Planner in the early days, because remember I was a project MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sat there at the MVP summit and they showed us Planner. I said, so what about reporting? And they said, yeah, you can export to Excel. And I said,
Yeah.
yeah, but what about
No.
reporting? What about enterprise reporting?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can export to Excel. And I just went, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
giving up on this. And
Yeah.
then
Going in
that had
circles.
niggled me for a long time. I'd
Yeah.
not become annoyed, but it just played on the back of my mind. Here's
Yeah.
a tool
There
that,
must be a better way. Yeah.
yeah, everybody who's got an E3 or an E5 license has. So why can't we report on it? So
Yeah.
here's the reporting tool. Yeah.
So you put some effort in it and made yeah, in a relatively short time iteratively a solution for that you showed, which I very much appreciate that you share it also, how
Yeah.
you did it. And yeah, you make it free available for free for everyone to use. So yeah, I really appreciate that also. So yeah, I think it's very interesting. We are exactly at the 45 minutes. I think you have showed everything, right?
Hmm.
And so this is the solution. You can download it and improve it yourself and put the new version on GitHub again or whatever, or share Ben some tips how it can be done. Um, so yeah, I like these projects a lot, and so thanks a lot, Ben, for sharing that and being our guest. And
Yeah, you're more than welcome. It's a pleasure.
yeah, so it's getting sunny here, I see. So I'm gonna try a little bit because I'm very oversaturated at the moment. But okay,
Gosh,
the
you
sun
are.
is
Yeah.
shining. Yeah, it is very. But next week we're back. So thank you all for watching. Also, if you have any comments, let them know. We're gonna have our 25th. Hey, we have a party. 25th episode of our design first day series, which we do once per month. So we've been doing that for 2 years also already. And wow. And we're gonna have some nice examples of dashboards people created, and we're gonna talk about it. Hey, this is nice, and how did you do this, and how can it maybe be even better? So we learn from each other. So if you are interested in that, feel free to join next week on 4 o'clock Dutch time, and 3 o'clock UK time. But it is in Dutch though again. So yeah, and the automatic subtitles are not that good on YouTube, unfortunately. But anyway, thank you, Ben. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
And
And you. I'm glad it's sunny in Benevolence for you.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right. Okay.
Catch you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.